Welcome to another episode of Kev Mac Videos. In 1979, something happened, unknowingly to most, that would transfer from the city of brotherly love all the way to the streets of Los Angeles.
Kev Mac video, you know, this is for sure.
Kev Mac video.
Open your soul, represent your ghetto, baby.
Kev Mac video.
You know, this is for sure. Kev Mac video. Open your soul, represent your ghetto. Hold up. For the dime moves and the lokes, for the 6-4s on spokes, for the OGs that did a dime, came back around on parole.
At the time, Pittsburgh was simply the host for one of the most iconic moments in baseball history. With Sister Sledge's disco anthem,
We are family.
blasting throughout the stadium, the Never Say Die Pittsburgh Pirates defied the odds and captured their 5th World Series title.
Get up, everybody, and sing.
Led by the legendary Willie Stargell, with heavy hitters like Dave Parker, Bill Madlock, and Omar Moreno, the Pirate squad didn't just win baseball games, they captured imaginations. And unexpectedly, they caught the attention of street personalities thousands of miles away in Southern California. In the early 1980s, the black and gold Pittsburgh Pirates cap became a staple of the streets of Los Angeles. That bold P could represent a lot of things: pyro, player, pimp, and even Pomona. The cap transcended baseball. It became a canvas for identity, and it wasn't alone. Other Major League Baseball teams like the New York Yankees, Houston Astros, Texas Rangers, Boston Red Sox, Oakland A's, Atlanta Braves, Cincinnati Reds, and Seattle Mariners found their way into gang culture and hip-hop fashion alike. Then in 1990, New Era, the longtime supplier of Major League Baseball headwear, made a pivotal move. They began selling authentic on-field team caps to the public. It was a game changer. All of a sudden, anyone could rock the same fitted hat as their favorite ball player, or more importantly, their favorite rapper, or represent their set. Even before that, pop culture had already started to absorb the cap. During the end of the snapback era, Tom Selleck's iconic character in Magnum P.I. wore a Detroit Tigers hat with pride. You start to see real fitteds popping up on magazine covers, music videos, and album jackets. In Los Angeles, the fitted cap began to edge out the golf hat, a former street staple among Crips and Bloods throughout the 70s and the early 80s. Now, when it comes to gangs and violence, Chicago and Los Angeles are often mentioned in the same breath.
Because ain't now one of us been to Chicago to see this brother with this scarf and hat on. So where do we see it at? Through the eyes of Hollywood. Bang.
So that's to say the same place you see the drive-by shooting.
First drive-by shooting I seen was in Scarface, the 1932 version. The original Scarface. I seen a dude look at a Thompson and go, oh, let's try this. And they got an old-ass car and they went and shot up the rival gang. Doing no more than 20 miles an hour because there wasn't no car going over 30. That was a drive-by shooting, partner.
A lot of people from LA emulate Dillinger, Al Capone, Frank Nitti, and many other famous Chicago gangsters. But it's no coincidence that one cap rose to prominence in both cities: the Chicago White Sox hat. There was something special about that Sox cap. It had that tough, no-nonsense aesthetic. The black and white colorway was clean, stark, and powerful. It didn't scream for attention, it demanded respect. It came to symbolize a hard-working, grinding mentality. And to a new generation, it felt like a throwback, something classic yet raw. Eazy-E and NWA were the true game changers. Their influence can't be overstated. They didn't just wear the Sox cap, they made it iconic. Eazy-E, in particular, turned the White Sox fitted into a fashion statement, a badge of cultural identity. For him and many others, it wasn't about baseball fandom. It was about attitude. It was about owning who you were and where you were from. Ice Cube says he made the White Sox cap popular in hip-hop and credits Frank Thomas for putting the hat on the map in general. The hat was considered neutral on the streets of LA and Compton, something you could wear without claiming a specific set. That neutrality gave it power. It crossed boundaries, and it sold big time. In 1990 alone, New Era produced 9,000 White Sox caps, a staggering figure that would only continue to grow. The rebranding of the White Sox was perfectly timed. Their uniforms featured bold Old English lettering, echoing the graffiti and tattoos covering the streets and bodies of people in California. The look was perfect with gang culture, but it also worked on the field. Frank Thomas, on the verge of becoming a baseball titan, was joined by veterans like Tim Raines, Robin Ventura, and Albert Bell. Their new Comiskey Park saw attendance soar from 9th in the American League to 2nd. And in 1991, they signed Bo Jackson, an athlete larger than life, adding more heat to the fire. The White Sox hat replaced the golf hats and the famous Pittsburgh Pirate hats. Individuals could now rock the Sox hat with a Pendleton or a Charlie Brown, like we did the golf hats. Off the field, the Sox cap was everywhere. West Coast rap was exploding. NWA, Snoop Dogg, Tupac, they weren't just dominating the charts, they were reshaping the culture. Millions of fans wanted to dress like them, talk like them, and live like them. And that meant wearing Raiders gear, LA Kings jerseys, bandanas, and of course, the black and white fitteds. The Chicago White Sox cap wasn't just a fashion accessory, it was a statement. It represented toughness, rebellion, and independence. It was a symbol of struggle and survival. And while its origins were rooted in baseball, its legacy was cemented in the streets. From dugouts to street corners, from Comiskey Park to Compton, the Sox cap tells a story of style, of identity, and of the unexpected ways culture travels, from cities to coast, from stadiums to soundtracks. Thank you for watching. Be sure to click that like button. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I'm out.